Hello everyone again, this is Hand from Above with VPnerski, and we are casting game number 3 here of the clan war between VPgamers and Tactical Gaming, or TG. So starting us off, we have the Tactical Gaming TG Photo Synth in the top of Xel'Naga Caverns here. In the bottom we have the man, the myth, the legend. It is 13.
So yeah, this is going to be on Xel'Naga Caverns, guys. It's actually increasingly, like, a lot of people used to love this map, used to think it was one of the best balanced maps in the pool. Still not the worst map, but increasingly people are actually starting to dislike this map a little bit, especially in ZVP and ZVT, so we'll see how Photosynth decides to deal with this map, but it's a little hard on this map for Zerg to take a third. There's rocks separating out your natural third, and then there's rocks also blocking the gold third. So a lot of times you'll see Zerg take these outlying expansions first, just because they're easier to take, and Lings are terrible at knocking down rocks. So we'll have to see what he ends up doing, though.
Yeah, definitely. I think also the reason people are disliking this map a little bit more is because you've played it so much. And you've done so much of it. Now, 13's putting a rack on the bottom in...
It's the fabled Maka racks, in case...
Is that what he's doing?
Yes, in case people don't know what the Maka racks is, this player Maka Prime started this trend where he would hide his first barracks in his own natural, which is one of the easiest places to scout it, but yet it's put there anyway. Sometimes the player will miss it, though. It does look like Photosynth's going to initially miss it. So he should know something's up, though.
Yeah, he's going to be like, okay, there is some cheese going on here, and I am not sure what kind it smells like yet. But it is maca cheese.
Yeah, it's not even exactly a cheese play. It's more or less to try and force a reaction from your opponent without actually doing anything. So you basically create the racks on the low ground, you build your first marine or two down there, and then he'll end up lifting the racks probably and putting it up to wall off. But sometimes it can force a huge reaction from the Zerg player. Could delay his expansion potentially, or even force him to build a lot more Lings than he'd normally be planning on building.
Or he could go to a spine crawler set and build 2 or 3 spine crawlers, which, I mean, that's 200 to 300 minerals that he doesn't want to spend.
Oh, pulling a bunch of SCVs to just clean up that work drone, I should say. Does get it, though.
And you know what? It's not a bad thing to do that now and again if you are trying to hide something big.
Yeah. Surprisingly enough, though, Photosynth actually not fazed by this at all. Just building your standard 4 Lings. Getting his first queen up. Has not started his second queen yet, though.
He is taking an expo.
Yeah, taking his expo at normal time. Normally when you do a speedling span, you'll take it around 19 to 21. Took it at 19, so
yep.
A little bit on phase. Now starting to build some extra Lings, though, so now 13's starting to get a little bit of the reaction out of this that he would have wanted.
Some extra Lings, speed on the way, and now 13's building 2 more racks. So really where it's at is these Lings are going to try to pop up here and get a scout, but it's not
almost actually let them in there, so it's a little bit close. Did force a bunch of extra Lings out of Photosynth, though. So assuming Photosynth is going for something more macro-oriented and not some kind of a Baneling bust play, it actually will put him a little bit further behind than he would have liked to have been otherwise. I mean, if we look at the harvesters right now, it's 21 for 13 and only 15 for Photosynth. So having the desired reactions is actually a pretty smart play, it turns out, by 13.
Yeah, very smart play. And now he is being even smarter, 13 is, by putting a rack down on the bottom. So a Baneling bust is going to be less likely into his main.
Yeah, we do have an expansion orbital finishing up. So basically went for a 1 racks into expansion type of play. Did get those other 2 racks. It's kind of started around the same time, but essentially doing the expansion first.
Now, if you notice, he has no gas. 13 has 0 gas right now, so he is just going into a straight marine play.
And just as you say that, he takes both his gases. This is pretty typical, though. Most Terran will just pump out tons of SCVs, get the expansion up. You take gas after your expansion's ready to go. It actually pans out really well. Marines are really good at holding stuff in the early stages of the game, so we'll have to actually see how this ends up playing out. We do have the layer started for Photosynth. Do have a Roach Warren going up, so it does look like Photosynth is a little unsure as to what 13 is up to right now, and it's just trying to play safe. Roachling, Baneling is a very safe way to play the early game. Only thing it really has troubles with is early Banshees.
Which I don't see him going yet, but He is creating a very nice wall off here. I am impressed by 13's wall off. So the runaround will be a lot harder.
Yeah, and by putting that engineering bay up where he did, spreading out his bunkers a little bit, it'll make it very hard to try and baneling bust this. It's also a very good defensive position. Lings can really only try and wrap around from the edge of the expansion command center, which the Marines should have a fairly easy time running into the mineral line, choking it off.
Definitely. And now he has his factory going down with a tech lab on a barrack, so I'd say stim probably on the way, which, yeah, here it is right there.
Yeah, factory going down, stim on the way. Probably going to transfer into a tank marine style of build, I would expect out of this.
Which is perfectly acceptable because he has not shown banelings yet. So...
yeah, no banelings up yet. Even with the banelings, the tank marine is very strong. You get tanks, you get marines, you eventually get up some medevacs. I like to call it the MMT build, where you go marine medevac tank. Very popular terrain. They use it just about any matchup, to be totally honest, and it's very effective. Just a very solid overall build.
And with the tanks behind this wall, I mean, 13's going to feel very safe.
Yeah, he would definitely have no reason to feel unsafe, but is actually getting a reactor instead on that. Might be actually switching that with the starport, though, I would assume, when the starport finishes to pump out medevacs faster. Probably
so
will then get a tech lab
marine
on
medevac?
He could go marine medevac. Players like Marine King, aka Foxer, Boxer, Fake Boxer, whatever you want to call him, popularized that style in the early GSLs. So it could be a straight marine medevac build. I'd still expect him to probably put a tech lab on there eventually and start to get some tanks.
Yeah, he's dropping it down right now if you look.
Yeah, it's very difficult to actually win the game without getting that tech lab on there. The tanks are just such a staple of the Terran army, and they're so good at holding against banelings in particular. Siege up the tanks, keep the Marines back by the tanks, and it makes it incredibly difficult for the Zerg to push into you.
Now, what I'm seeing, which is interesting to me as a reaction, is the spire going up. It's weird.
It's actually pretty.
Mutas at this point, with all the Marines, I mean, Marine and Stim versus Muta equals dead Mutas.
Yeah, the Muta-Ling Baneling play, which is kind of what he's transferring into, does have the Baneling nest going on the Spire, was a very huge staple of the Zerg play early in the game's release. A lot of players have been starting to get away from it a little bit, favoring Ling, Baneling, Roach compositions into like maybe Infestors. The mutas are very good, though. It's always good to have a couple of mutas. You almost always against Terran want to end up kind of going Spire and at least getting a couple of mutas out before you actually go into Infestors, just because Infestors aren't the greatest at dealing with drops. Roach deal pretty well, but not so much Infestors.
We have a drop going on in Photosynth base with 8 mutas on the way, a Baneling nest, and a Infestation pit, so... I mean,
yeah. Is going to get those mutas out before this drop begins. Don't believe Photosynth actually knows this is coming just yet. As you see, he does not have view of it. So here he comes, going to be pushing forward. Second Marine push up to the left, pull away the army, and now the Marines are going to run into the base. They're going to pick off the Queen. Looks like they're going to stim and try and get some workers.
It doesn't matter. He has done some major damage now. Because that Queen will not be able to spit larva. So...
yeah, Photosynth is going to have to get out another Queen. Already building 2 additional Queens.
Yep.
3rd additional Queen even. So he's going to be going up to 4 Queens. Doesn't want to lose those Queens.
And now here comes missile turrets because he saw those. Smart play right now. These mutas are going to be null and voided at this point.
Yeah, a couple of missile turrets in the line is very good. Actually leaving his base a little bit vulnerable, though. So there is a bit of vulnerability here. It looks like Photosynth is going to try and take advantage of it.
But we have Vikings out, so... Viking,
yeah. Photosynth's going to want to back up here. Oh, ends up losing a Muta. Still a vulnerability there. 13's definitely going to want to get a turret up on the forward edge of his base to just guard that. I mean, good turret placement. You want maybe 1 or 2 in your mineral lines, and then you want a good amount on the edges of your base so that you can just delay the mutas in time for the Marines to get to it, so you don't have to stim too early.
By Photosynth, so Photosynth's money is going to be flying up now.
Yeah, if we actually take a look at the income tab right now, we do have Photosynth up 61 to 52. Does have the gold base, so if you're looking at his mineral income, he has 2,000 to just the 1,300 of 13. So definitely crushing 13 as far as income goes right now. So he's going to have a huge burst of units coming up here.
13's just working on upgrades galore, though. We have +1 weapon, +1 armor, combat shields almost done. And we do have banelings on the way, though. Banelings are being morphed in. And, I mean, centrifugal hooks, so we have baneling speed.
Oh, loses a bunch of his mutas by his third, though.
Yes, he did. Oh,
Combat shields does finish now. Photosynth might actually be in a bit of a pickle here, because as 13 goes to try and deny this 4th expansion,
which he just does.
Yes, which he will be able to do. Photosynth's going to be in a little bit of a pickle here, though. He has not been getting any upgrades. Centrifugal hooks has not finished yet, so he doesn't have fast banelings yet. And has no upgrades. So if 13 keeps getting ahead of the upgrades, that could become really problematic for Photosynth, as we see 13 pushing into the gold.
Yeah, he is pushing into the gold. Here comes the banelings, though. They're going to pop him. But, I mean, that's
13 needs to micro back. Oh my god, loses all those Marines to those banelings.
But, look at, he also did damage. I would say that, my opinion personally, he
Oh, and coming from behind, you're actually missing it. Attacks from the army from behind, takes out a couple of the tanks and a bunch of the Marines.
I say he traded well, though. Because that gold is now hurt. That gold is not mining.
Yeah, that gold's really hurt. If we're looking at the supplies here, it's 130 for 13 to just the 93 of Photosynth. Photosynth is not in the position he wants to be in. Photosynth running off of 2 bases against a 2-basing Terran is not a good position for him. If we look at the income tab real quick, we do see that Photosynth has now fallen behind 47 to 52 Harvesters. Those upgrades of those Marines just really coming in now. The Marines are 1-1, they got Stim, they got Combat Shield, they got plenty of Medevacs. And all Photosynth really has is these Lings, and he's pushing these Marines with the Lings by themselves and no banelings. I think this is a bit of a mistake by Photosynth.
Yeah, and he is now going to take the gold out. He is just going to rip that gold apart. We have more banelings coming in, though, so... Or morphing in. They do have speed now, so... He really should spread these Marines out. I mean, you know, spread them out a little bit of everywhere.
Yeah, he's definitely going to want to spread them out. He's definitely going to want to get him off of that creep. Banelings are very effective on the creep. 13 with a very strong container right now. Now starting to work on his own gold rocks. Probably going to go for his gold expansion. We do have Photosynth expanding over to the right here. So he does have a new third up. So he can transfer some drones over there. Does still have 49 Harvesters. So not totally out of this just yet. Definitely could do some stuff to pull himself back into this. Building some more Infestors, which will play huge against the bio. But Photosynth's going to have to pick his battles very wisely right here, because he is down on supply by a little over 40 supply already.
Well, it looks like he's going to push in here, which I don't agree with at all. Because 13's sieging up right now. And look at the siege line.
Yeah, if Photosynth pushes into this, this would be a huge mistake. I think he partially wants to just protect his third, but he is going to actually push in, losing a bunch of Banelings. Getting even further behind in the supply now. Now over 50 supply behind. That was just not a wise engagement by Photosynth. He really needs to just try and turtle up here. Use those Infestors to hold back the army of the Terran. I mean, it's really going to be his only chance at this point. He's got to either get a really good engagement, or he's got to get back caught up in economy so that he can actually afford to waste those units. Because right now, 50, 60 supply difference is not going to favor him in a battle against a Terran who has better upgrades. 1-1 going up to
2-2.
2-2 shortly. Also has 1-0 on his vehicles, going up to 2-0. 13 looks like he's going to move out, try and take out this third base now.
Yeah, he does some drop, which is, I mean, if you notice, Photosynth pulls everything from his army over there for one little drop.
He's got to defend this. The problem that he has is if he doesn't defend this, he's really going to be way too far behind to even catch up. I think that's why he's hanging out here, bouncing back and forth between this gap and there. But 13's just in such a strong position right now. I'm not really sure how Photosynth is going to come back from this. He might even want to consider sacking this space.
This is a little ridiculous. I mean, he's going real heavy. Oh, there we go. Photosynth does get a nice fungal down.
Does kill a bunch of the Marines, but there is still a lot of Marines left. He's got to be careful not to lose these mutas before the Banelings get here.
The mutas are going to pick off all of these medevacs if they have the chance, which is a big injury to, I would say, a big hurt to 13.
Yeah, this is actually going to play out huge for Photosynth, evening up the supplies quite a bit. That was a really good engage for Photosynth, but he needs to get these mutas out of here. Ends up actually losing one.
But now he's hurting on the Baneling count a lot. Before he had a lot of those banelings, and look at 13. He's moving to the left now.
Yeah, 13 is going to be pushed down here. Again, wants to make sure that gold base hasn't been retaken. It hasn't. 13 does have the gold, though, so if you look at the income, he actually does have quite a bit of an income advantage right now over Photosynth. Can build plenty of Marines, and as everybody knows, the Marine's such a staple of the Terran units. They scale better than any other unit in the game. They're so effective with medevacs, but oh my god!
He does take out the third over there, but he loses all of his
Lost
Marines.
all the Marines. Might even lose all 3 of these medevacs. A couple of Marines pushing forward to try and save that last medevac, but to no avail.
So the medevac is down, but look, he sneaks in the gold again.
Yeah, Photosynth's in a bit of a jam right here. He does have that third up at the bottom still, so that is going to put
He's
out
hurting
huge.
on money, though. Look at his cash.
Yeah, 13 has so much money banked, though, right now. Photosynth's having a hard time keeping up a third and fourth base. He really needs to get one up if he's going to have any chance here. He's going to have to turtle as hard as he can, to be totally honest, at this point in the game. He does have a couple infestors. Neither one of them have fungal growth up yet, but hopefully will soon. But he's just getting further and further behind in the upgrades.
You're missing a little engagement. More banelings to go pop on some Marines. Look at the siege tanks, though. My god, he is going to slow push with siege.
Yeah, and honestly, for 13, losing Marines is no big deal. They're the easiest thing for him to replace. You're always going to be a lot more mineral heavy, but he's even gas heavy right now. So I'm just... Photosynth is not looking to be in a very good position right now.
Especially when 3-3 is now on the way and he's still using Ling.
Oh,
I'm
picks
sorry.
off an infestor. Yeah, Photosynth has not put down has not used his evolution chambers that much. Just now, finally starting the 1-1. Has them actually both working out of the same Evo chamber, though, so not even doing it effectively. Like, his second Evo chamber, honest to God, is sitting here right now doing nothing, while one Evo chamber has both upgrades.
So this is... He's morphing in a ton more banelings. I mean, he looks like he wants to push into this line.
I honestly don't think that would be in his best interest right now. I know he wants to get something done, but 13 is still only running off of 3 bases, so if he could just play defensively right now,
here he's dragging
get
a ton
these
of banelings down.
Get these 5 bases up, he could have a chance. He just needs to defend right now, though. Does not have the infestor there. Marines are going to get away.
Yeah, no fun and fungal growth today.
I honestly think at this point in the game, Photosynth might want to consider pulling all those drones off of that exterior base that is kind of exposed. Cut his losses, pull those drones back to the base he has up that would be normally typically your natural third, and just drone that up. I know he doesn't want to lose that base, but he would be at 3 base for essentially 1 base of 13 right now if he did that, which might be a better way to go about it. But we do have 13 pushing out here to the left side.
Yeah, but it looks like he's got a tank guarding him there. So
yeah, he wants to get up and deny this gold expansion one again. Always smart to deny this gold. You don't want Zerg to get this gold up.
no, scan going down so he knows what he's dealing with. I think in my mind 13's laughing right now. Because he's like, okay, I have a ton of Marines.
Yeah, and he's got so much money banked too.
Yeah.
And his upgrades are so much superior than the Zergs. Zerg barely has 1-0, just starting the 1 carapace upgrade. 13's already 3-1 on his
Fungal
Marines.
growth going down, but he loses all the Marines, but none of the tanks die.
And it looks like I'm just a little bit behind you here.
Sorry about that. I will.
No, that's okay. But viewers did just see that happen. But we do have the Marines denying that 3rd natural expansion, and he's actually losing all of his mutants to these Marines. A huge mistake. Loses the infestor too. 13's going to be able to just push in now.
Yeah, 13 now, with the supply of Photosynth, I'm sorry. All the tanks and everything, he's just going to unsiege them and move them right on up and say, hi, welcome to the neighborhood. Here I come.
Yeah, and essentially with that natural now being mostly mined out, you have the 3rd, or the pseudo-3rd on the side, mining for Photosynth. 13's taking a 4th base. Photosynth's actually pushing in, going to kill a couple of tanks, but there's going to be too much here for him to actually clean this up.
Yeah, there's just way too much. There's a GG from Photosynth. I knew that one was coming because, I'm sorry, with all the... He's still sitting just with, 13 just mined out a gold. He was starting to mine out a... Wow.
Yeah, it was a very well played game by 13. Just abused the map, really. It's not easy. There's plenty of multiple attack paths. Lots of ways you can do multi-pronged attacks, especially if somebody's trying to turtle up a little bit. Photosynth got that early lead by going for that gold base, but I honestly think getting behind in the upgrades was what really hurt him the most. You get way behind in the upgrade war, you get 3-1 Marines versus 1-0 Lings and Banelings. They're just not going to be cost effective against that amount of Marine power. So
no, especially when you have 3-0 siege tanks. Oh my god.
yeah, those siege tanks doing a ton of damage, 44 damage, 65 versus armored units. So, I mean, they were essentially one-shotting his Lings the whole game. That's what typically makes those carapace upgrades so important. If you can't keep up the carapace upgrades with the siege tank upgrades, siege tanks will one-shot your Lings. And when siege tanks can one-shot stuff, I mean, there's just not much you're going to be able to do to actually stay in the game.
No, there really isn't. At that point, it's GG. You're done. Sorry. It's a good game, and let's go to the next one because 13 absolutely just rip rolled right through Photo. So we're going on to game number 4. You ready, Nerski?
Yeah, I'm definitely ready. Let's head over there.
All right, let's go.